All right, what makes it a Super Stinson? I'm just having fun with this. This is my airplane. I know everyone has airplanes which are unique and special to them, but this is mine.
Aviation, the way it was meant to be.
To me, the whole idea of a super airplane comes from the Super Cub. What made it a Super Cub? Better weight carrying capabilities. It was faster. It had a longer range, and made the Super Cub out of it, which, in my opinion, is near perfection in an aircraft. So why do I call this a Super Stinson? And I'm getting a little flack from it because a lot of the guys, or some people, I don't want to say a lot of people, some people think a Super Stinson's an 0470. For me, again, to make it a Super Stinson, we have to cover what made the Super Cub. Let's look at load carrying capacity. Well, I was able to increase the load on this aircraft by reducing the propeller weight and putting a lighter weight engine in it. So I've got better load. I was able to get better climb performance on it. I've done that with VGs, and then I've done that with the 15 extra horsepower. I was able to take the aircraft and have better forward speed. How do I do that? Once again, I can do that with the 15 horsepower and the ground adjustable propeller. And then better range. How do I get better range? Well, this Lycoming 0360 burns less fuel than the Franklin did. So I've increased the load, I've increased the range. With the propeller, I've increased the speed, and I've increased its takeoff performance. To me, this is a Super Stinson. And I want to take you around the Super Stinson a little bit, and people have asked questions. Let me show you what we've done to make it the Super Stinson. First, I put this Lycoming 0360 as the heart of this aircraft. It's a Lycoming 0360 A4M solid crank. One of the more reliable engines I know of. It's lighter than the Franklin by about 15 pounds, so I've been able to take weight out of the engine and weight out of the propeller. That Lycoming 0360 also gives me 15 horsepower more than the Franklin gave me, getting me off the ground more quickly. And then I'm seeing climb speeds of 1,700 feet per minute. I'll touch on that in the video later, but the climb on this has been incredible. The other thing I've done to this Super Stinson is I put this Sensenich ground adjustable propeller on it. This Sensenich ground adjustable stoke propeller, it's 82 inches. It's carbon fiber, and it has a range of pitches I can adjust it to. This allows me to pitch it very fine for a STOL style competition. I can pitch it mid-range, if I'm going to be going in and out of some smaller grass strips. Or if I've got to cruise down to Louisiana, I can put it at its coarsest pitch. And while I'm not fast, it still gets me, 105 knots, which is acceptable as far as I was concerned. 100 knots was my number. The other thing I've done to this Super Stinson is I put VGs on it, the micro VG system. I do have a video on that, but essentially it's reduced my approach speed by 5 miles an hour. Recently I've went to the bald tires, or the smaller 850 tires. I went to the smaller 850 tires because they take 40 pounds off the airplane. 40 pounds, yeah. I will have the Bush tires on this aircraft at times. The Bush tires do a great job if you're doing more off-field work. If I go to Alaska, it'll have Alaskan Bush wheels on it. But right now, these are doing a good job and really give me, in this case, over 900 pounds of useful load in a smaller aircraft that burns 8.5 gallons an hour. This is burning 8.5 to 9, depending on the cruise settings I have. So that's increased my range. Its flight time exceeds my willingness to sit in the seat. Before it runs out of gas, I want to get out to walk around. With the STC, I was able to put on an alternator, a 60 amp alternator versus a generator, so I get a constant supply of electricity, and I'm able to run things such as landing lights more readily. The alternator is a fantastic upgrade over the generator. You really had to kind of manage electricity with the generator. The alternator, it's hands off, start it up, battery starts charging, run everything I want. I don't have 60 amps worth of electronics in here. I got an EGT and a CHT gauge. The CHT was required via the STC. So now I can monitor the engine a bit, but it's nice. I'm able to better lean the engine and get better fuel performance out of it and stop it from lead fouling. Another thing that this engine gave me was the ability to easily run 100 low lead fuel. I no longer need to try to source ethanol-free, unleaded fuel to stop plug fouling and the valves from getting stuck. It's nice to be able to taxi into any airport, put gas in and go. And then of course inside I have some of the other luxuries such as the UAvionics AV30, the UAvionics AV20. So with all of these features, somebody can toss a 470 in their airplane and say it climbs great and takes off great. I think I take off about as well. They probably climb a little better than me, but I'm not sure they're going to get out of any smaller strips than I am, because at some point you look in front of you, you see the trees and you just say, no, I'm not going to land that spot, or I'm not going to take off from here because there's just not enough room to make it safe. And as pilots, we fly safe. Add on top of that the extra range, the extra load carrying capacity, little creature comforts inside such as the engine monitors and the primary flight display that the AV30 gives me. This is a Super Stinson. I don't know. I can't, anybody with the 470, you got a Super Stinson too, because your airplane is super. But don't deny me, this is a super airplane. If you have any questions, any comments, leave it below. I try to answer them all. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.